Hello, welcome to the Pianoforte Podcast. I'm your co-host Felicia, and here with me is my co-host Audrey. Hi, Audrey. And today we have a special guest. Hi, Robert.
Hi. What's going on?
So today's episode is something a little different.
Yeah, we're bringing Robert back to hopefully teach us some more things outside of the uni, maybe.
All right.
But before we start, maybe we want to chat a little bit what's going on in the life, what concert you have been watching recently, or are you going to watch in a short time frame, not like in 3 months, but this week?
Sure,
maybe?
yeah.
Sure. You want to start?
What concerts am I going to see soon,
or something that you see recently?
Something that I saw recently? I saw an opera not too long ago, Wozzeck, at the theater of Freiburg. And it was a very interesting production because the orchestra wasn't sitting in the pit, it was sitting on stage.
Oh.
And it was turning, and all the actors were kind of in the orchestra and playing with, or not with the orchestra, but like around the orchestra. That was really cool. And it's a really cool piece. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of it by Alban Berg, but it's the classic Wojciech story. And it's very interesting, very complex music, but it was very enjoyable to watch, I have to say.
So it has a turning table, like turning stage.
The stage, like there's a large circle that can turn and rotate.
Like Hamilton.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I played a concert at Konzerthaus not too long ago with Rachmaninoff's Second Symphony.
Aka?
Oh,
I wanted to go there. I was sick.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, you have another chance in July. We're playing Mahler's first.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Mahler. Okay. I might write that on my calendar later.
Yes, I can give you the date. And then I'm playing a concert tomorrow, and I've played a concert in Nuremberg not too long ago in a church with my jazz band for a concert, like what would you call that? A series of concerts organized by none other than Wolfgang Hafner.
Oh.
I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a pretty big jazz drummer.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Although it was 3 days of traveling for one concert, which was slightly annoying.
Traveling?
Yeah, because we had a rehearsal in Munich, and then on the same day went to Nuremberg and played there the next day. So I had to travel twice. Well,
why do you guys rehearse in Munich
because our cellist lives in Munich.
And
we were like a jazz trio and cello, so 4 people.
What are you playing in that?
Bass.
Okay. You play jazz.
I do. I try to. Not always successfully, but I try to.
All right.
No, it's one of my oldest bands, and I've been in that band ever since its inception in 2016, so it's been 7 years. And it started out as the bachelor's project for my friend. He's the drummer and the band leader. And we've kind of kept going since then, and it's been fun. Yeah, I'm a little out of practice though, I have to say, on the bass, because I don't really play a lot of bass anymore.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
So you play more viola?
I'm playing a lot more viola than bass at the moment.
Viola.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. What about you, Fish? You want to add or question something, or directly go to your?
I'll probably, I have no questions to ask, so I'll probably go straight. Let me just check our last recording date, because I can't remember if I've mentioned concert in between before or not.
I don't remember either.
When did we last record?
A long time ago.
Oh,
This is still going to be in the podcast, isn't it?
This is
It is going to be in the
podcast. We're not cutting, we're not editing anything, so if we misspoken something or whatnot, it's all inside. It's,
Great.
Yeah.
Love it.
You gotta love it.
Okay, so since the last time we recorded, I have been to 2 more concerts. One of them is actually really interesting. It was it's like a Japanese taiko group.
Oh.
They traveled around and they performed. So they came to Singapore and performed. I think they were actually here for 3 days and they had 4 performances. So I managed to catch one of them. And it was really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's one thing I want to see at some point in my life is a taiko group, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So this one, so this taiko group, they were a bit more, I guess, well, they had obviously the taiko section, and then they also had some like melodic instruments, like the shamisen. They had like the zither. I don't remember what it's called in Japanese. And then they had like the flute as well, the bamboo flute.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Bamboo flutes.
That sounds cool.
That's it? Only that? Since last time?
I mean, the other concert is a bit more recent. I think like last week, sometime last weekend. It's a Mendo pop rock concert. So this is a singer from, I think he's from Taiwan. Yeah, and then I went with my mom because my mom knows his songs more than I do. So yeah, it was a very nice crowd. Like a lot of people around my mom's age, and they were all like driving and just like vibing with the music. It's pretty interesting to see.
Nice. All right. As for me, I went to, I think since the last recording, 2 concerts ish. One is Verdi, the Requiem. The one, yeah, the famous one. Right, that was in Freiburg and Münster. And the other one was Zweierpasch. Yeah, with their new-ish album, I think. But with a new drummer. That's one I know.
Who's playing there now?
I forgot her name. It's a female. She's nice.
Okay. I don't think I know any female drummers in Freiburg.
I think she doesn't live in Freiburg. As far as I know, as far as I talked to Michi, our friend who's the bassist there. Yeah, I think she doesn't live in Freiburg.
That's cool. I've done some mastering for them before.
Yeah, for Pash?
The last album before this one, I think.
Oh, do they do that through Jazz House Records, right?
No idea.
No idea.
I talked to them directly and not to any labels for that.
Oh, okay. Because as far as I know, they're under Jazz House Records.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
I haven't talked to them in a while, though.
Nice. They're still alive.
they're still nice. They're still making music.
They're still making music. They're still nice. They're still alive. What else can I say about it? Yeah, I think that's the 2. I mean, I went out of Freiburg for Easter to celebrate Easter, obviously, with an Indonesian Catholic group. And that was the first time that I sung Indonesian church stuff in like years. Because I had to help also with the choir and also with whatever those stuff. And that was eye-opening experience because I ended up feeling like, wait, is this? Am I singing correctly? Am I reading Indonesian correctly? I forgot my own mother tongue. Yeah, that's like how ducklingual I am right now. That's just eye-opening for me.
You can still speak Indonesian though, right?
I can.
Are you noticing any like German mixing in there occasionally?
Actually, weirdly enough, I've grown a new habit. Like sometimes when you think, like you would just say like, that pause words. What is it called? I don't know. But that like the Denkpause. I sometimes blurt out Indonesian word now because I'm talking so much Indonesian on the holidays, and I suddenly now actually include more Indonesians to English or German sentence unknowingly.
So it takes you a while to kind of readjust after after the holidays.
Yeah, I'm a duckling. That's why I said that. Yeah, that's it. So nice start,
Cool.
Great start, and now we're starting off with the official part. Actually,
All right.
Felicia, you would want to share your idea because this originates from you.
Okay, I'll try to the best of my ability. Because Audrey, I think I know you were a bit confused about this last time. You're still confused about this.
Maybe. Let's see.
Okay, so I'll just share it and we'll just see we're all on the same page after all. So the idea here is that Robert is here as the game master. So Robert, okay, last time I told you to kind of prepare a list of like music words, terminologies, just something to do with music, anything, right? And that the more obscure the word is, the better it is. And me and Audrey will try to come up with definitions for it and be as specific as possible, especially for the ones we do not know.
All right. Well, I have to say, I spent far too much time looking for obscure music terms, and it is extremely hard to find like general music terms that I think you guys wouldn't know already, because music terminology isn't particularly complex. And
yeah, it's true.
I mean, for someone who isn't trained in music, I could find something that's extremely obscure, but it's very easy to understand if you're trained in music, right?
Yeah, well,
because it's like our everyday language. I could write something like fermata, right? And a non-music person would not know what that is, but that's like one of the basic terms in music. So obscure terms in music, I actually dug through some like modern, like contemporary harmony books, trying to find some like obscure harmony things. But then I thought, well, it needs to be something that I can explain too. Right? And so I think I'm going to have a hard enough time explaining the ones I chose now.
Oh, wow. And, okay.
Yeah, I oriented, like I went to music production more than general music because there's some very technical terms that I think I can somewhat explain. I'm not an expert in technical things when it comes to music production, but I think I have a good enough grasp on them to kind of give you an idea of what it's about. So I'm hoping that you will not know what any of these are, but I have 3 terms related more to instruments and like instrumental techniques in classical music, but you probably will know those.
Okay.
I just have to say a disclaimer. I haven't enriched my vocabularies, my music vocabulary since a long while. Especially not the obscure ones. I keep using basically the same ones that I've learned the past years. And Felicia, you'd still take classes, right? Well,
yeah,
maybe my enrichment is coming from a form of Instagram videos where maybe some random dudes be like, hey, do you know this technique with those kind of stuff?
Yeah, but that's fine.
I retain minimum information of that. I might share 1 or 2 to you, Fish, as well. Probably. That's it.
The question that I have with this game is there a prize?
That is also
or is there a punishment? Like, I have 10 terms. Like, if you get more than 5, do you win something? And if you get less than 5 or 5, do you have to do something as a punishment?
Oh, we could include that.
Maybe do the next episode with, I don't know, cat ears or something.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Sure. That is a good punishment.
That's a good one. I didn't think about that.
I don't mind that.
Well, it's nice to have some form of like stake in the game, right?
Yeah.
And me as the person who already did all the work for it, I'm gonna leave myself out of the punishment. I'm gonna be that egotistical.
No, you're not gonna do the punishment with us.
All right.
That was also a question that I was like, oh, are we in the same team, or are we like you versus me, you fish?
But then we'd have to figure out a way for you guys to answer independently.
Yeah.
And I think you can work together. Why not?
I think it's easier that we work together, and then if
I can give you the term and maybe some time to think about it, and then you can come up with a combined answer.
Yeah, this is a group project. Gruppenarbeit, genau.
Yeah,
and then you just give us scores, and if we
let's do it like university. Like you have to get at least 5 out of the 10 to win 50%.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that, Fish?
I'm very certain that you will get them.
I'm nervous. Okay, let's just do it.
Are you ready? I have to do it in a way where you don't see the terms.
No, I will not.
We're gonna start with these ones, okay?
Yeah.
Do I just like tell you the term and you'll give me an answer?
Mm-hmm.
What does consordino mean?
Consordino.
Oh.
Yes. You know it?
Consordino?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Audrey, I think you should know this, right?
Huh?
I think you should know this, yeah.
You should know this. Wait, just to also just double check. We are supposed to try to answer it correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't know, you can just take a wild guess.
Take a wild guess.
That might be funny.
It's an instrument kind of, in a way, technique, isn't it?
It's instrument technique. Can we do a yes/no stuff to you? Oh no.
Not for this one, because this one's easy.
Oh my god. I also feel that it's an instrument technique.
Okay, Audrey, I have an idea. As in, I have an idea of what it is, but
yeah, shoot.
I mean,
shoot to me first, not to Robert.
Okay, so I'll just say what I think it is.
Yeah.
And Robert, you don't have to answer yet because we're still discussing.
I will just listen and enjoy.
This is discussion
To
time.
play with mute.
Huh?
Consordino, to play with mute, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't.
Sordin something.
Mute. Consordino.
Mm-hmm.
Con is with, yes. Sordino, is it mute?
I feel like it's to play with mute, but now I'm just double guessing myself because
You mean like for
for
wind instrument, or like with
strings instrument you see quite often, don't you?
I'm leaning towards strings instrument.
I think string instrument to play with mute.
Maybe.
We need a little bit of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music.
Ding, ding.
Is that your answer?
We can edit it in, maybe.
Well, a maybe isn't an answer.
No, I mean like the music. We can edit it in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can see that.
It's strike though.
Oh yeah. We will make our own game show music.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is that your answer?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Audrey.
I guess so yeah, I'm relying to you in this one.
It's perfectly correct.
Wow!
I double guessed myself because Audrey doesn't seem to know that. So I was like, well, I think Audrey would know that.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's a term used. I think if you play a brass instrument, it needs to be more specific because there's different kinds of mutes.
Yeah.
But for a string instrument, it's usually these little like plastic or like rubber pieces that you just put on top of the bridge, and it mutes the sound. It gets quieter and it also gets a lot more hollow sounding. So yes, that's a tick. 1 out of 10.
We got one. I don't know this.
Okay, the next one is colegno.
Oh, I know that.
Oh, then
do you know?
No. See, I'm out of this.
String instrument technique, where you play with the bow, but you play on the wood side instead of the horsehair side.
Ah.
Yes, very correct. That was a fast one. Tick.
Wow. She's doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, obviously, the interesting thing about the colegno technique is that you can do it in a bouncing fashion.
Yeah,
like you
I've
can
heard
hit the string with the wood, but you can also bow the string with the wood, and it makes a very, very quiet and kind of eerie sound. And for example, we're playing a piece in the orchestra right now, a Sibelius piece, where like 40, 50 stringed instrument players do that. Like they bow the string with the wood side, and it sounds very, very weird, but kind of cool, because it's super quiet and you hear more of the scratching, if you will, like the noise part of it.
Yeah.
But it sounds very interesting.
Nice.
And I think it's used more in modern music than in classical, obviously.
Would you like also rosin the wood part? No, right?
I mean, there's rosin on the strings because you're bowing in kind of the same spot, so the rosin kind of transfers.
There's already from the strings, but
it's not that much.
Rosin the
it's like an equal distribution of tone versus noise. And the noise part, when you hit the string with the wooden part of the bow, obviously is a lot louder than the actual note part of it.
Yeah.
That's why you get a more percussive effect. And I don't know who the first person to do that or to use it was, but I think it might have been Berlioz in his Symphonie Fantastique. Because that's a very early piece that actually uses the colegno technique in the last movement very prominently.
But it's more, I've seen it more as the hit one as in comparison to the stringing.
Yeah, the hitting one is more prominent than the bowing one.
I don't know the name for it, but I've seen that, yeah.
Yes. Okay, 2 out of 10. We're doing great so far.
Yeah,
so
Felicia
probably knows the next one as well.
Yeah, well.
But the next is kind of more a question and not a term. Can you explain to me the difference between a natural and an artificial harmonic?
I know what it is, but to explain it is.
Explain it.
Audrey, any idea?
How to explain it?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna give you it's a string instrument technique.
I've heard of it. I cannot explain it well. That's my thing right now. A natural and artificial harmonics.
I reckon I can explain the natural harmonics, which is natural harmonic. I'm really tired thinking about this.
When you don't press the... No.
It's on the open string. So natural harmonics is based on the open string, and you have to press on certain areas of the string to form a harmonic.
Yeah.
Either halfway or 1/3 or something.
There's
some of the fractions.
I think a halfway. Halfway is
an octave higher.
Yeah.
And then the other.
That's the natural harmonics, right?
That's one of the natural harmonics. It's not the only one. So.
Okay. It's not the only one.
But basically, natural harmonics is based on open strings, whereas artificial harmonics, you have to press on a note on the string, and then the other one kind of floats on the string.
Yeah, maybe.
This is such a bad explanation.
I'm gonna count it though. It's close enough. Yeah.
I mean, I know how mostly I'm thinking of guitarists right now, and not so much of a string instrument as in violin, viola, whatnot, the orchestral strings, because for guitarists I think it's halfway is 1 octave harmonics.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the natural harmonics, because that is where the string could still vibrate without you actually pressing the thing, but just touching it. But the artificial is when you maybe in the finger style guitarist, sometimes they do it while they're playing chords and doing the artificial harmonics.
So on plucked string instruments, so bass or guitar, artificial harmonics are not, I don't really know of them, because in order to do an artificial harmonic, you need to finger one note.
Mm-hmm.
So you press down on one note. It's essentially you do them because you want harmonics on notes that are not open strings.
Yeah, that's
right. So you press down on one note, and then you need to lightly touch with your pinky finger the note that's a fourth above that. And I think on a guitar you just don't reach that far, especially not in the lower positions.
No, not in lower positions.
But on both string instruments, you can actually reach a fourth with your fourth or first and fourth fingers, obviously. You press down on one note, and then you lightly touch the string a fourth above that with your pinky finger, and it sounds 2 octaves higher.
Oh. Octaves. Wow. Wait.
But your explanation of a natural harmonic was very accurate.
Okay. I do have a question, though. What about a cello? An artificial
I think in the lower positions, it's very hard. I think they can do it with their thumb and their pinky finger.
Oh,
because they use the thumb position too.
Yeah.
Right?
I've seen that. Okay.
But it's a very advanced technique.
Yes,
it's easier on a violin. It's slightly harder on viola because just the difference or the distance is longer. But that's
why I wanted to ask about cello and presumably also bass.
It's mostly a violin technique. And the funny thing is you can actually play melodies. Like if you're good enough, like hitting the artificial harmonics, you can actually play melodies with it. And Sarasate was one composer who wrote a lot of like violin virtuoso music, and he used artificial harmonics extensively. And actually sometimes people have to play very fast melodies doing artificial harmonics. And if you think about, like, this is your first finger as a string player, right? It's a little bit different from playing piano because you don't use your thumb. But you have to move your first finger up and down the fretboard, or not the fretboard, but the fingerboard. It doesn't have frets on a violin. Like, so accurately that you can actually play a melody with just your first finger. And if you've ever played a stringed instrument, that's extremely hard. But not only that, you have to get the distance between the first and the fourth exactly right for the harmonic to sound, because they can be a little bit,
because the higher that you go, the fourth finger distance is also smaller, no?
Yes, the narrower the distance between the first and fourth fingers get.
Yeah, so the higher you get on the neck, like on the fingerboard.
Yeah, and also like if you get too high, you're already sounding 2 octaves higher than the note you're actually pressing down on, right? So if you get too high, it just won't really work anymore.
It's gonna.
But there's examples. For example, if you want to listen to a piece, maybe you can put that in the description. Artificial harmonics. It's the Zapateado by Sarasate.
Can you say the title again?
There's a recording of Midori on YouTube, and she's a master of artificial harmonics. Or Gil Shaham does it very well too. But maybe you can find the video and kind of put it in the description.
Yeah.
Do you want Robert to repeat the title again?
Yeah, the title of the piece you're talking about.
Zapateado.
Sorry, Zapa what?
Zapateado.
Zapateado.
Yeah, it's a very German pronunciation of that. But
yeah.
I think you can get it.
We will get it. We'll get it.
We'll get it.
If not, you can just ask me and I'll spell it out for you. Might be safer.
Probably. Probably. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well,
nice.
3 out of 10.
So the
Doing
instrumental part is done now.
Okay. Now we're getting into music production terms.
Which
Audrey should be
and I
better
have
at.
to a little disclaimer here. I'm not technically proficient enough to explain this stuff to you on a physics level.
Man.
But I can explain it to you on a musical level.
We should get a.
But yeah. Let's start with something a little bit easier. What is the Red Book standard?
Red Book standard?
Keine Ahnung, it's the first time I'm hearing of this.
Oh, wow.
Yes, now you can think of something.
Okay.
Be creative.
Okay. Red Book standard. It's in. Oh, I cannot ask questions. But it's in the production.
It has to do with music production, yes. Okay. All of the other ones now have to do with music production.
Oh, nice. This is where Robert's expertise comes in.
And I'm going to give you a little hint here, since you both don't know what it's about. It has very little to do with technical issues.
Very little with technical issues.
Actually, it doesn't have anything to do with
Red Book
technical
standards. It's not technical.
Stuff.
Red Book standard. What could it be? It's not technical.
So it's not a device or something. It's more of a general term for something.
Okay. Okay. My automatic guess just go through. I don't want to say that's by the first glance or first hear. My automatic thing was just this is probably not mastering but more like mixing stuff. Because but that was my first impression.
And what's your second instinct, Audrey?
Let's just move straight to the second instinct.
Maybe it is mastering because he's the dude. Red Book standard.
I'm going to give you another tip. It's a term that is becoming less and less important.
Used. Yeah, okay. My lord.
Does it probably have more to do with analog stuff?
Yeah, could be. Or well, now that you say that, I have another guess. Because I think now I'm leaning more towards mastering, actually, and not anymore to mixing. You know how when you do masterings, you have you have a certain ideal zones of how many decibels and whatnot, and I think decibels is still commonly used, but there's another term that's also nowadays more used. I forgot what it is.
Loudness, you mean?
Yeah, but the measurement is not. There's another one that's not decibel.
Loudness units.
Oh yeah, LU. Yeah. I think I've heard decibels before LU. So my assumption now, Red Book standard might be the actual older parts, older term, maybe before this thing. People don't call it anymore, maybe. That's why it's not as common now. But it's just because people just say, oh yeah, it's just between this much LU and that.
You're not extremely far away.
Oh, can I get a half point for that? Or do you want to perfect it, Fish? Do you want to try to perfect it?
I'm not going to perfect this. I'm going to yank it off in the opposite direction.
I would move away from I would call it the technical side of it. It's more like a, I don't really know how to.
Oh no. Have we broken you?
No, it's just I'm trying to give you a tip that doesn't spoil the answer.
Okay. You don't want to add anything, Fish?
I'm inclined not to add for this one, since you're currently halfway through the answer.
It's called the Red Book standard, right?
Yeah.
What would that mean?
What is the Red
standard?
Book?
I mean,
I would maybe focus on the standard. What kind of standards do there have to be in the music production world?
That's why I was thinking of that.
It's relevant for you right now because you're working on something with your band, isn't it?
I am working on something with the band, but
what are you working on with your band?
The recent ones that is the 2 old songs that we finally recorded.
Yeah, but what is that in total? All the songs together?
It's some symphonic metal. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Album.
An album.
An
yeah.
album. Oh.
And Audrey, you're also moving off the frame when you.
Okay. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
See myself.
Am I still in it?
Yes, you're
You
perfect.
haven't
Did
moved.
center.
No, I haven't moved.
Wait.
I'm just calmly
It's
listening.
an album. Right. We're working on an album. When didn't I think of that? I literally talked to you earlier.
And what do you need to do if you want to publish an album?
You
make
have
sure.
to masters the songs that it's all around the same loudness and do the CD specific mastering.
Okay.
Oh, is
Getting
it a
warmer?
CD? Is it then a CD specific mastering? Because I don't know what's the difference is, but apparently it is different. When you want to master songs for CD in comparison to like just online platforms,
Yes. It is different.
it is different. You can say that. Good. Maybe is Redbook standard then the ones that's for. Whoa, this is a wild guess. Don't add this yet, but vinyl?
No. CD wasn't
Oh,
bad.
CD. Okay.
I think I can give you a half point for that.
Okay.
Okay.
We're scratching this a
The
lot.
the Red Book standard is the standard of how data is stored on a CD, which was developed in the I think late 70s or like around 80 to make sure that every CD meets a standard that a CD player can read and can play.
Oh.
So it says that the music needs to be stored in 44.1 kilohertz, 16 bits,
Yes.
doesn't or can't exceed a certain length, and needs to have markers for the CD player to register a new song or a start at the beginning and register an end at the end. So like it gives you pretty much requirements on like what needs to be on the CD and how.
But why do you say that it's now less commonly used?
Because CDs are less relevant.
Just because of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot less CDs are being produced, or a lot
Yeah,
fewer
it's
CDs
more
are being produced
online platform
nowadays
only.
than 20 years ago or 30 years
Definitely.
ago.
Okay, so because of that, because as far as I know, even for online platform, it's also still like 44.1 kilohertz
Yes, but
and 16-bit.
a lot of online platforms actually, like on Apple Music, for example, you generally upload music in the original recording resolution. So if you record in let's say 96 kilohertz at 24-bit, you upload it in 9624. And then it's being reduced or like resampled later on towards the consumer.
Oh wow. Okay.
But CD Baby, for example, which is a distributor online, they want 44.1 24-bit or 16-bit files.
24-bit.
I think I uploaded our last album in 24-bit.
Whoa, I don't remember this.
But any online distributor that doesn't, or that requires you to get music there in 44.1 16-bit, you might as well not use them, because there's no reason to distribute music online in a lesser resolution.
Yeah.
Because the CD has the standard because it allows for albums to be a certain length. If you have a higher bit rate, or if you have a higher sample rate, obviously
then it's
there's not enough space for music on an album to, I think it's 72 minutes or something on a CD, like that, 70 minutes of data. So if you have a 2-hour album, like if you record a classical album with a symphony and like another, or like 2 symphonies on it, you would need
then it's not 44
4 or 5 CDs for that. And the beautiful thing about CDs in opposition to vinyl is that there's a lot more music that fits on a CD in a much smaller form factor. So that was one of the main selling points. So the Red Book standard is just, how do you have to have your music on a CD for it to be able to be played by a player?
Probably Simon would have known that.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler. Like it's not that technical. It's just like here's what you have to do to your music.
This is the guidelines. Do it.
Yeah.
I would say we hit one more question, and I don't know, because our podcast tend to run 45 to an hour. Maybe we just do the second part in a second.
I can also just
separate it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you want to do 2 podcasts for the?
I don't know.
Part 1 and part 2.
In the beginning, we were thinking only to do 1, but now that we are in the.
I can also I don't have to wait that long for an answer. Like I can just give you the answer faster. What?
No.
Or do you want to?
We like it. I like the ability to think about it and swim my way through it.
Okay.
I don't know if you.
I mean, I can go through all of them. I have time. Yeah.
Okay. Then, what about your preference, Felicia?
I'm okay splitting this into 2
things. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
the audience can be like, they're doing good so far. What?
And then there's a crash after that.
Are they gonna?
Needs a nice clickbait title for the part 2.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, well, we're at 3.5 points.
Out of 4, which is not bad at all.
Out of 4, which is really not bad, but now we get into the
difficult
the hard part. What is dithering?
Sorry, what?
Dithering.
Dithering.
Can you spell it?
Dithering.
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 Dither. To dither something.
It's getting fairly technical now, I have to admit.
Oh my god. Where?
I've never heard of this one before.
I've never heard of it either. Well, I've never heard of the Red Book standard as well.
I might have found 7 terms that you've never heard of then. That's great.
Wow. And all
you can guess. You can.
And all in.
I'm going to be a little more lenient. Like if you get in the ballpark of it with your guess, I'm going to give you at least a half point for it.
Okay. Let's just discuss fish. Is it a mixing or a like a?
Oh, I can say that. It's a mastering term.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Predominantly.
Oh, wow. That's very kind of you. It's mastering.
It's also related to the Red Book standard in one way or another.
Okay.
Right.
My thinking method is just to repeat the word until I feel like, oh, this could be.
You feel a vibe with something.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I'm that person that's in the class, like, I'm just loud. I'm just like, 1485? What's happening there? Right. Dithering. This is probably the most boring episode. No, this is not the most boring episode, as in anything. But if we don't talk, can you imagine just not talk while thinking?
I can just give you more and more clues as we go along. Cause
actually, for a clue, can you put it in a sentence? Or will it just give the answer away?
For the CD version of this master, we need to apply some dithering.
Okay,
That's
I can think of something. Is it?
Does it have to do with volume again?
Probably. If it's mastering, it's probably doing something with volume. Probably.
Have you taken any of my music production courses in school?
No.
Because the first thing I said about mastering was it's not all about volume.
Oh. Damn it. I have not. Sorry, Robert.
It's not volume.
Not volume. I do remember. I have heard something that's like you also talk about the dimensions of the recording this X, Y, Z.
It's less musical. It's more a technical thing. It doesn't.
So more numbers still.
Another tip I can give you is ideally you won't hear it.
We won't hear it.
won't hear
So
it.
it's probably in the format.
Something in that direction.
Wow. In this CD recording, we can apply some dithering. Was that your
No,
sentence?
I said for the CD version of this master, we need to apply some dithering.
We need to apply some dithering.
Some. So it's on a scale of like you can and you can do more of, you can do less of.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's in the format thingy. Wait, what?
I'm ready to just give up here, by the way, Audrey. So you're holding the fort down.
You did for the classical part. It's like,
You want me to tell you?
no, not yet. Or maybe.
Maybe you can speed it up here. Like just
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest.
No, I mean in the video you can just go 2x speed
Oh, yeah.
until there's an
Right.
answer.
Right. Just cut it here. Bye. See. You can apply. You don't hear it.
Mhm. You use it if you want to bring something to accordance with the Red Book standard.
Huh.
Does it have to do with sample rate, like the sample bit stuff?
Sample rate
The
That's-
16, 24, so blah, 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 blah.
32.
There you go. That's pretty close.
Pretty close. Dithering. So like to do something to dither that would affect the bit rate.
All right, I'm gonna count that as a half point.
Wow.
I'm gonna be very lenient.
Very lenient.
It is a tool that you use if you want to sample down from 24-bit to 16-bit. Or if you go from a higher bit rate to a lower, or bit depth to a lower bit depth. Because if you lower the bit depth, what can happen to your recording is something called harmonic distortion, which is a ringing of certain notes that is sometimes more, sometimes less audible, just because the waveform, like the kind of digital representation of the analog waveform gets too choppy and too like square. And the squarer it gets, the more harmonic distortion you get. And to combat that, you essentially just add white noise or just some kind of noise. There's different types of noise, but a dither is essentially just adding noise. And the noise randomizes the signal so much that the harmonic distortion kind of disappears.
Yeah. Oh.
But you have
That's pretty
noise
cool.
instead, right? So ideally,
white
you want
noise.
to add just enough dither to get rid of the harmonic distortion, but not hear the noise.
That
makes sense now.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it's only from like a high bit rate to
Yes. Yeah.
low
If
bit
you go
rate.
from a lower bit rate to a higher
higher
bit
bit
rate, like nothing changes.
Nothing changes. But yeah.
Also doesn't help, but
True,
nothing
true,
changes.
true.
Yeah.
But why do you say like we don't hear it? Like don't.
Ideally, you
That's-
don't want to hear the noise. It should be so
Ah,
quiet that it gets just
so.
drowned out by the noise floor of the recording in general.
Okay. Okay.
Or
Ideally.
by noise floor, I don't really mean the noise floor, but the information in the recording.
Wow. Okay.
Is
So
it still used nowadays?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prob-
I use it whenever I do specific like CD masters. When I do the DDP image that you have to send to a manufacturing plant to get the CDs pressed. When I do that, I use dithering. Not for online masters though, because I can generally do those in 24-bit.
Yeah.
And for
They
when I go from
accept
24 to 16-bit, I usually use dithering. Very slight though, because I've had maybe one or two songs where I actually was aware of the harmonic distortion, but it's a very, very slight thing. It's like detail work, fine detail work. But if you don't use dithering, the world's not going to fall apart. Your song will not sound much worse.
Okay.
It's just
if it's already bad, it's not gonna sound weird.
I think it's less relevant today than it was when
CD was a thing.
Kind of
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow, you're leaning really heavy on the CDs.
Well, not anymore.
So far. Oh, so on the second part.
Stay tuned.
No, we're getting into like more general music production terms,
Okay.
and one that you might know because I think I talked about that in one of my music production classes, and my next question is, what is comb filtering?
Okay, I have to say something first though before answering that. That is the cliffhanger for the next episode because we're doing that in the next episode.
Yep.
In the next episode, you will find out what comb filtering
comb
is.
filtering, because it's gonna take us a while, and I would rather just
Okay.
spare the
All
audience.
right. Let's split it.
Some time to not stress them out by me just repeating the same.
So as a homework, everyone in the audience can now just Google comb filtering, and you will
Google it.
You will
Add it in the comments.
You will be the smartest person in the next episode.
Yeah. That's the homework from the ex-professor.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't a professor. I was just
docent,
a lowly lecturer.
lecturer from our lecture. So see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
In the same
wait.
zone-ish.
What was that?
Yeah.
She starts.
Because I started recording, so it does the skip.
Oh my god.